ANC veterans are concerned about the latest developments within the party. These include Ace Magashule's response about a meeting with former President Jacob Zuma, as well as Cosatu's call for an investigation. Aldrin Sampear has more for the story on us now. Aldrin, good evening. It's certainly, I think I'm constantly caught off when you see the change of tune that has taken place within not just the ANC, but also the various structures of the ANC. And certainly a Veterans League that once vehemently defended President Jacob Zuma is now asking him to explain this meeting that had taken place where there was an apparent plot to oust the current president.
But what we should take into consideration is that this is a Veterans League under a new leadership, and it's a Veterans League under the leadership of Snooky Zigalala, who's the president of the party. But also remember, in the run-up to the ANC's elective conference as well, and in 2016, after the ANC suffered a blow, it was the veterans who said that, listen, Jacob Zuma must resign. He must step down as leader of the party and as leader of the country as well. And they've been pushing for that up until the end. Remember, even the call then for a national consultative conference, which eventually didn't happen, and there was only the policy conference. And some were even arguing that it was during that policy conference that former President Jacob Zuma at the time declared war against these veterans, saying that some of them are so-called veterans.
So let's talk about then this call for him to explain this meeting. What do they want from him exactly?
Well, interestingly, to hear Snooky Zigalala say that when I was speaking to him earlier on, and one of the other things that they are calling for is, for instance, that the top six, because remember that Ace Magashule during that interview with Vuyamvoko did say that the meeting did take place, and he then explained to the top six during the officials meeting on Monday what had taken place or what had transpired during that meeting. And Snooky Zigalala saying that, listen, now we want the top six to come and explain to us, the NEC of the ANC, what exactly happened. But the veterans, because former President Jacob Zuma is also a member of the Veterans League now, that he must also come forward and explain himself to the Veterans NEC. And just take a listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, we as the Veterans League, we have those powers. What we'll do, we'll put in our next National Office Bearers meeting, which will take place next week Thursday, and we'll put it to the NEC of the ANC Veterans League to say, we'll call him in and say, President Zuma, member of the ANC Veterans League, can you tell us what is this meeting all about? It will be a normal conversation between us and him, and I'm sure we can propose that to happen.
What are they most concerned about, Aldrin? Is it the fact that this meeting took place, or the threats of or allegations of a plot to oust the current president, or just the fact that Ace Magashule is discussing organizational matters which he's not forthcoming about with the former president?
Yeah. It is mostly about these allegations of a plot. And what Snooky Zigalala is saying is that they don't believe that there's anyone, or it's unimaginable, he says actually, that there will be anyone who wants to remove the president. He says, it goes further to say that even if they try to do that, they won't be able to do it because, as it stands at the moment, the next ANC conference is only in the next 4 years from now. And that's the only time that you can remove the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa. And it's only then that these people who want Cyril Ramaphosa removed can do exactly that. But here's the other thing. This is not the first time, Kathy, that ANC presidents are facing these allegations of plots to remove them. Former President Nelson Mandela had the same issue, former President Thabo Mbeki, and even former President Jacob Zuma as well. He faced similar allegations of people trying to remove him. And now we have this again. But the big question is, what effect does this have on the ANC itself as it tries to forge unity within the party, also considering that we're going to an election that is going to be a very, very tightly run election?
Well, while these, this particular branch of the ANC or arm of the ANC waits for answers, somebody who's not being slowed down, at least if what we saw just a short while ago is anything to go by, is the former President Jacob Zuma, of course, addressing those students at the Walter Sisulu University. No mention of the meeting, and of course, he would know it was top of everybody's mind.
Yes, I was actually expecting, most of us were expecting that he may just use this opportunity to respond to some of these allegations. Because here's the other thing, and like Snooki was saying as well, that they hope that President Cyril Ramaphosa will come out and speak about this issue publicly. This could have been an opportunity for the former president to come out and say that, listen, I had absolutely no meeting with regards to a plot to oust the current president of the ANC, an opportunity to probably say that I throw my weight behind the president. The big question is then, why didn't he use this opportunity to do exactly that? Because he used this opportunity to speak about state capture, which was not on the agenda. Remember that he was scheduled to speak about free education, which of course he did, and he went at length explaining the Freedom Charter as well, but then went into state capture, asking the students to define what the state is, and he speaks about the three arms of the state. And like he did that, I think that he could have used this opportunity to respond to the news reports of this alleged meeting that took place to oust the president. Certainly a missed opportunity from his side, but why didn't he do it? That's very important, I think.
You know, also interestingly is what he said about state capture. I think it's somewhat revealing of what he feels about this process which is unfolding, in particular the Commission of Inquiry into state capture. One of the quotes he said, these are people who did things to other people, but there is no state that is captured. Those that you sit with daily over the past 3 weeks that this commission has started, Aldrin, would firstly, they agree with that statement that there simply is no such thing as state capture.
With the people that he sits with in the NEC,
no, that
agree with that. That's the thing. With the people that he sits within the ANC agree to that. With the president of the country and the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, agree that there's no state capture. If that's the case, he wouldn't have campaigned on this investigation should happen into state capture. This was Cyril Ramaphosa's campaign rallying people and calling on people and saying that there must be an investigation into state capture. And now that the commission now sits, and the commission is looking into these allegations of state capture. And he's right that there are three spheres of the state. And I remember interviewing Deputy Chief Justice Zondo, and I specifically asked him about the judiciary itself, whether the judiciary is captured. And he said, as far as he is concerned, the judiciary is not captured. But some would argue that at least is one arm, or if not two arms, of the state that are captured. And this will be Parliament, this is the legislature, as well as the executive, who were or probably still are.
Oh, okay. We've run out of time, Aldrin, but tomorrow, state capture inquiry, what can we expect?
Tomorrow, state capture inquiry, Justice Zondo will give us a decision on the ruling with regards to this application by the Gupta brothers to cross-examine the witnesses. He will also tell us whether he'll allow the brothers to give evidence via video link, or whether you'll find us in Dubai to go in.
Imagine flying the entire commission to Dubai. You wouldn't be so lucky. Aldrin Sampear giving us the latest on those three different stories, although all related.